What's going on, guys? My name is Rising and welcome back to another gun guide for Call of Duty Mobile. In this series, we'll be focusing on in-depth breakdowns, tips, builds, and class setups for every single weapon in Call of Duty Mobile's multiplayer. And continuing with the buffed weapons of Season 8, today we'll be covering the Kilo 141 Assault Rifle. The base model ported from Modern Warfare 2019, the Kilo 141 is based on the real-life HK-433 assault rifle, designed by the German weapons manufacturers Heckler & Koch. The Kilo 141 is a 4-to-6 shot kill weapon, dealing 29 damage up close, which drops down to 19 at longer ranges. It offers a 1.4 times multiplier to the head, and with its recent buff, now it deals 1.2 times damage in the upper torso as well as lower arms. This means that headshots are quite effective across all ranges to reduce your shots to kill. Up close, you'll require at least 2 headshots mixed in with a body shot to achieve a 3-shot kill. You can also achieve a 3-shot kill by landing all 3 shots to the upper torso or lower arms, which is much easier now due to the lower arms multipliers. The rate of fire is moderate for an assault rifle at 682 rounds per minute. This means that you'll kill in 264 milliseconds in the first and second damage ranges, which increases all the way to 440 milliseconds at longer ranges. However, if you can land those initial shots to either head or upper torso, or lower arms in the initial damage range, then your 3-shot time to kill will be 176 milliseconds, which is very competitive. Speaking of ranges, our potential 3-shot kill range is quite small, up to 16 meters, with our guaranteed 4-shot range up to 23 meters. However, you can improve these ranges with specific attachments, which will be coming shortly. And comparing the Kilo 141 with other top-tier weapons, we see that it does not excel well at longer ranges, although its close to mid-range time to kill is quite promising. It has a slightly worse than average ADS bullet spread, but it will be fine for mid-range encounters. Its hip-fire accuracy is also more or less average for an assault rifle. Its hit, flinch, and bullet impact values are also somewhat average. And for its recoil, as you can see, it is quite simple, leaning up towards the left and then shifting slightly towards the right. The overall recoil is not really difficult, however the initial 5 shots are spaced out by some margin. This is one of the drawbacks of this gun, since those are your most important shots in a gunfight, at least in multiplayer, so you must be aware of the sudden jump in the first few shots, otherwise it may throw your aim off sometimes. Its aim-down sight time is average at 250 milliseconds, and so for its sprint to fire time at 150 milliseconds. Its mobility stats are also bang on average across the board. The magazine capacity is standard for an assault rifle at 30 rounds with 120 in reserve. It reloads in 1.04 seconds, with an empty reload time at 1.14 seconds. This is a fast reload time for its magazine capacity, thus you can quickly pop the reload after you get a few kills. And with that, we're done with all of the base stats of the weapon. There is one last unique attachment for this weapon which is worth covering. This is the 100-round reload, which basically turns the Kilo 141 into a light machine gun. With this, all of our mobility and handling stats are reduced by a huge margin. However, we get a 100-round magazine, along with an improved horizontal recoil control, as well as bullet impact. It also improves our material penetration, which is now on the lines of an LMG. This is similar to the Macromag IFS for the ICR-1, however, I want to cover this section briefly. So let's plot a matrix comprising of material thickness and different ammo types. With the base mag, we deal 55% damage through thin cover and 52.5% damage through medium cover. We don't do any damage through thick covers, so it is useless to spray through those kind of materials. With FMJ, we improve the damage through thin and medium cover, although it still doesn't do any damage through thick materials. With the 100-round reload also, we get a slightly worse performance than the FMJ. However, if we combine FMJ with the 100-round magazine, now we deal 100% damage through both thin and medium covers. Thus, if you want to use this attachment, then it is best paired with FMJ to achieve its full potential. This attachment also increases our range profile by 10%, which is an added bonus. And with that, we've covered all the stats of this unique attachment. Now's the time to see how to build this weapon efficiently. I've got 2 builds for the Kilo 141 with 2 different playstyles. Firstly, we have the balance build, where we have the tactical suppressor for concealment, OWC marksman barrel for improved range, accuracy, and recoil control, no stock to mitigate the mobility cons of the marksman barrel, granulated grip tape for reduced ADS bullet spread, and finally, we have the 40-round extended mag so we can take a multiple
multiple encounters without reloading. Since the mobility cons of the marksman barrel as well as the 40-round mag were reduced in the recent patch, we practically have zero downsides with this build. We have improved our accuracy stats, but most notably, we have a 35% boost to all of our damage ranges. This means our potential 3-shot range is now up to a solid 21.6 meters, with our guaranteed 4-shot range up to a great 31.1 meters. This is a very competitive range profile, and thus the Kilo 141 excels quite nicely in those close to mid-range encounters.
I also have a second build, which incorporates the 100-round magazine. With this build, we try to improve its mobility stats with the YKM integral suppressor and the no stock. We have the granulated grip tape for improved accuracy, and finally the 100-round reload along with FMJ so that we can achieve the 100% damage through materials of up to medium thickness. And as expected, we have completely destroyed our mobility values by entering into the LMG regime. We have a slight 10% damage range boost, which means our potential 3-shot range is now up to 17.6 meters, and our guaranteed 4-shot range is up to 25.3 meters. And comparing it with other top-tier weapons, we see that it does perform somewhat good in those mid-range encounters. With this build, you must play as a suppressive MG and try to exploit its wallbanging potential as much as possible. As for an example class setup, for respawns we have the FHJ-18 for taking down streaks, we have the perk Greed Red as our wildcard, allowing us to carry 2 red perks, which we have Dauntless and Flak Jacket in this case. And for the other 2 perks, we have Quick Fix and Hardline. You may use Skulker if you want an improved strafe speed. You can also swap out Hardline for firepower support if you want. For the lethal equipment, we have a Molotov cocktail, and for the tactical, we have a trophy system. Operator skills and score streaks can be chosen as preference. For Search and Destroy, I use a melee for rushing, although you may use a pistol if you want. The perks remain the same, apart from using Dead Silence in the blue perk slot. We have a frag grenade as the lethal equipment and a smoke grenade as the tactical for blocking enemy lines of sight. And with that is going to wrap it up on the gun guide for the Kilo 141. As for my thoughts on the weapon, I have always had a soft spot for it, and now after the buff, it has become quite more consistent in those 3-shot kills. Its range profile is also quite good, and its mobility stats are also decent. Overall, it is now a fairly balanced weapon with no such drawbacks apart from the sudden kick in its initial recoil. This is now a solid off-meta pick, and I'd highly suggest to give it a shot, and see whether you like it or not. And of course, those were just my thoughts on the newly buffed Kilo 141. Now, I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you think of this weapon? Do you think that the buffs were satisfactory, or you still feel it to be somewhat weak and want some more buffs to it? Just let your thoughts in the comment section down below. As you know, I'll be covering the buffed weapons first, preferably doing assault rifles and submachine guns alternatively. So if you have anything in mind, let me know which one you want me to cover next. Make sure to subscribe and leave a like on this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.